1. Mimesis, imitation. Aristotle's Poetics stands as one of the seminal works of literary theory, laying down foundational concepts that have been discussed, debated, and adapted for over 2 millennia. One of the cornerstone ideas Aristotle introduces is that of mimesis, or imitation. To truly grasp the importance of mimesis in Aristotle's conception of art and literature, we must delve deeply into the intricacies of this notion. Mimesis defined. In its most rudimentary form, mimesis can be translated as imitation. However, for Aristotle, the term carried a broader, more nuanced significance. Mimesis is not mere copying; instead, it is a mode of representation, an act of recreating reality in an artistic form. It operates under the understanding that art does not simply replicate the real world but represents or portrays it, revealing deeper truths about human nature and the world we inhabit. Art and nature. To Aristotle, nature itself is a form of mimesis. The processes and entities of the natural world replicate and reproduce themselves, just as art imitates life. Therefore, mimesis in art is not an arbitrary choice, but rather an extension of the natural order of the world. By creating art, humans are participating in the same processes as nature, capturing the essence of reality and presenting it in a new, reflective form. The role of the artist. For Aristotle, the artist isn't a passive observer but an active participant in the world. While the artist might be inspired by reality, the act of mimesis involves interpreting, filtering, and presenting reality through a unique perspective. The artist takes raw reality and refines it, extracting its essence and presenting it in a manner that allows audiences to understand, engage with, and reflect upon it. Mimesis and catharsis. Connected closely to the concept of mimesis is Aristotle's notion of catharsis. In the process of representing or imitating emotional events, the artist purges these emotions, offering the audience a chance for purification and emotional release. Mimesis, therefore, isn't just about imitation. It's about evoking emotions, leading the audience towards catharsis. The imitative representation of life, especially its emotional aspects, allows the audience to confront, process, and ultimately release these emotions. Mimesis across genres. Aristotle discusses mimesis in the context of different genres, particularly tragedy and epic poetry. He argues that different genres imitate different aspects of life. A tragedy might imitate the actions of noble individuals, leading to profound emotional experiences, while a comedy might imitate the more ludicrous aspects of life. In each case, the essence of mimesis remains the same. It's about capturing the fundamental nature of these aspects of life, refining them, and presenting them in a manner conducive to audience understanding and engagement. Distinction from diegesis. Another aspect to consider is the distinction Aristotle makes between mimesis and diegesis. While both involve narrative, mimesis is a showing; it represents actions directly. Diegesis, on the other hand, is a telling, a narration. Both have their roles in art, but mimesis, for Aristotle, held a special place due to its direct representational nature. Mimesis, as presented by Aristotle in his Poetics, is a multifaceted concept that goes beyond simple imitation. It delves into the very essence of art, the role of the artist, and the relationship between art and its audience. The concept reminds us that art, in all its forms, is not merely decorative or recreational. Instead, it serves a profound purpose: to capture, represent, and communicate the deeper truths of human existence. By understanding mimesis, we come closer to comprehending the timeless nature of Aristotle's insights and the enduring relevance of poetics in literary and artistic theory. 2. Catharsis, purification through art and emotion. The concept of catharsis traces its roots to ancient Greek thought and has since permeated various disciplines, from literature and drama to psychology and medicine. While the term is versatile and multidimensional, it primarily denotes a purification, a cleansing, or a profound emotional release. Aristotle's Poetics brought the concept to the forefront of literary and dramatic theory, but its implications spanned far beyond that realm. Let's delve into the rich tapestry of catharsis and its enduring significance. Origins in Aristotle's Poetics. Aristotle introduced catharsis in the context of Greek tragedy in his seminal work, Poetics. According to him, the purpose of tragedy is to invoke emotions of pity and fear in the audience, and through this invocation, to bring about a purification of these emotions. The audience, upon witnessing the tragic downfall of the protagonist, undergoes an emotional journey that culminates in a release, leaving them refreshed and, in a way, rebalanced. For Aristotle, this emotional recalibration wasn't merely a byproduct of drama, it was its very purpose. The experience of a tragic play wasn't meant to be a passive one. Instead, it was a transformative process, an active engagement where the intense emotions evoked would lead to a state of equilibrium. Catharsis in drama and literature. Over centuries, the concept of catharsis expanded beyond Greek tragedy. Dramatic works, be they tragedies, comedies, or dramas, sought to evoke powerful emotions in their audience. Shakespeare's heart-wrenching tales, such as Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet, serve as perfect examples. These plays, replete with themes of love, betrayal, ambition, and death, evoke strong emotions, guiding the audience towards a cathartic climax. Similarly, literature, both prose and poetry, often aims to provide catharsis. Readers become deeply invested in the fictional worlds and characters, experiencing their joys, sorrows, triumphs, and defeats. By the end, there's a release, an emotional climax where readers find themselves both drained and rejuvenated. Catharsis in modern psychology. Sigmund Freud and his followers recognized the value of catharsis in the realm of psychology. For Freud, catharsis was integral to the psychoanalytic process. He believed that repressed emotions, especially traumatic ones, could lead to mental disturbances. The act of recalling and reliving these repressed experiences in a controlled environment, like therapy, could lead to catharsis, helping patients confront and release their pent-up emotions. Modern therapeutic practices, such as art therapy, music therapy, and drama therapy, also recognize the cathartic potential of artistic expression. Patients are encouraged to engage with art either as creators or as audience members to evoke and process their emotions, facilitating healing. Catharsis in everyday life. The need for catharsis isn't limited to the confines of a theater, a book, or a therapist's office. Daily life, with its myriad challenges, often leaves individuals with bottled-up emotions. Activities such as listening to music, watching a film, journaling, or even engaging in physical activities like sports or dancing can serve as avenues for catharsis. A person might find solace in the melancholic strains of a blues song, feel invigorated by an action-packed movie, or find release in the rhythmic motions of dance. These activities, seemingly recreational, serve a deeper purpose. They help individuals process their emotions, providing relief and clarity. Catharsis, not always positive. While catharsis is generally viewed as beneficial, it's essential to recognize that it's not always a positive or healing experience. Sometimes, the release of pent-up emotions can be overwhelming, leading to further distress. In such cases, the individual might need support, either from loved ones or professionals, to process these emotions adequately. Moreover, the pursuit of catharsis can sometimes become a crutch, where individuals repeatedly seek out emotional highs and lows without addressing the underlying issues. It's crucial to strike a balance, recognizing when catharsis aids healing and when it might be a hindrance. Catharsis, from its Aristotelian origins to its modern interpretations, remains a profound and multifaceted concept. It underscores the deep connection between art and emotion, highlighting the transformative power of both. While catharsis in drama and literature offers insights into the human psyche, its applications in psychology and daily life remind us of the universal need for emotional release and equilibrium. Whether through a tragic play, a soulful melody, a heartfelt diary entry, or a spirited dance, catharsis remains an enduring testament to the human capacity for emotion, transformation, and healing. 3. Tragic hero. The notion of the tragic hero is one of the most iconic and enduring legacies from Aristotle's monumental work, Poetics. Rooted in Greek tragedy, the tragic hero archetype has been continually reinvented across literature, drama, and cinema over millennia. But to truly appreciate the depth of this concept, one must delve into the intricate framework that Aristotle meticulously laid out. Foundational concepts. In Poetics, Aristotle outlines the characteristics and the trajectory of the tragic hero. Unlike the modern understanding of the term hero, synonymous with a faultless champion, Aristotle's tragic hero is a fundamentally good person who falters due to a specific character flaw or a grave mistake, often referred to as hamartia. This error subsequently leads to their downfall, making the tragedy both heart-wrenching and inevitable. Key characteristics of the tragic hero. 1. Nobility and greatness. The tragic hero is often of noble birth or occupies a high societal position. This status is crucial because it amplifies the scale of the tragedy. A fall from a greater height is far more devastating than from a lower one. Notably, this nobility isn't just of birth but also of character. The hero possesses virtues and qualities that garner admiration. 2. Hamartia, the tragic flaw. It's this intrinsic imperfection or external error in judgment that sets the tragic hero on the path to doom. This is not to be mistaken as evil, it is a lapse or blind spot in an otherwise commendable character. 3. Peripeteia, the reversal of fortune. As a consequence of the hero's hamartia, their fate takes a turn for the worse. What seems like a favorable situation swiftly becomes a dire one. 4. Anagnorisis, the moment of tragic recognition. The hero realizes their flaw and its irreversible consequences. This moment is poignant, filled with regret and insight, often leading to profound philosophical reflections on life, fate, and human nature. 5. Unavoidable downfall. Despite the recognition, the tragic hero cannot alter their fate. Their downfall, often leading to death, is inevitable. 6. Catharsis. The hero's journey and eventual downfall elicit feelings of pity and fear in the audience. This emotional surge culminates in catharsis, a purging or purification of these emotions, leaving the audience with a sense of renewal. Nuances and misconceptions. It's crucial to understand that the tragic hero is neither a villain nor a paragon of virtue. They reside in the gray realm of human nature, making them relatable. Their downfall is a stark reminder of the fragility of human life and the inexorable nature of fate. The hamartia, often oversimplified as a fatal flaw, is more complex. It could be an external misjudgment or an inherent character trait that, in specific circumstances, proves to be detrimental. Enduring legacy and modern interpretations. Aristotle's tragic hero has left an indelible mark on the arts. From the Greek tragedies of Oedipus and Antigone to Shakespeare's Hamlet and Macbeth, the tragic hero archetype has been revisited and redefined across cultures and eras. In contemporary narratives, the tragic hero might not be of noble birth but could be someone with immense potential or high standing in their community or profession. Their flaws, too, are more nuanced, reflecting modern complexities. However, the essence remains a promising journey marred by a critical error, leading to inevitable tragedy. Aristotle's Poetics offers a profound exploration of the tragic hero, an archetype that delves deep into the human psyche, probing the interplay between character, fate, and consequence. It underscores the universal themes of ambition, pride, hubris, and the inexorable nature of destiny. While the specifics of the tragic hero have evolved, the core essence remains unchanged. They serve as a mirror to our vulnerabilities, our potential for greatness, and our capacity for error. In the tragic hero, we see reflections of our aspirations, our flaws, and the delicate thread that separates triumph from tragedy. Through their stories, we confront the most profound truths about human existence, making the tragic hero's journey both timeless and universally resonant. The term hamartia from Aristotle's Poetics is often translated as tragic flaw, but the concept is richer and more complex than that simple translation suggests. Central to the tragedy, hamartia is the misstep or error in judgment which leads the tragic hero from a state of happiness to one of misery, and it's this transformation that lies at the heart of the tragic narrative. Conceptual roots of hamartia. To appreciate the depth of hamartia, one must first understand its etymological origins. In its most basic form, the Greek term hamartian means to miss the mark or to err. It's less about inherent malevolence and more about an act of miscalculation. The nature of the flaw. While hamartia is commonly referred to as a tragic flaw, it's essential to recognize that it doesn't always manifest as a personal defect or moral failing. It could be 1. An error in judgment. This could be a poor decision or a misinterpretation of events or situations. Oedipus's relentless search for the truth in Oedipus Rex, despite warnings to desist, is a classic example. 2. A lack of knowledge, ignorance, or a lack of crucial information can lead a character into tragic circumstances. This is seen in Sophocles' Antigone, where Creon's rigidity and his ignorance of the city's true feelings lead to tragic outcomes. 3. An inherent character flaw. Sometimes, the hero's very nature or a particular trait becomes their undoing. Macbeth's unchecked ambition, for instance, although not a play from ancient Greece, is a renowned example of this kind of hamartia. Hamartia and the tragic arc. The tragic flaw is the catalyst that sets the tragic hero on their fateful path. It's the point of deviation, the moment when the scales tip from prosperity to downfall. This element is vital for 2 reasons. 1. Relatability. The audience often sees themselves in the tragic hero. They aren't wicked but are human beings who make mistakes. This shared human experience of erring and facing consequences makes tragedies profoundly resonant. 2. Inevitability. Once the error has been made, there's a palpable sense of inevitability in tragedies. The audience, aware of the hero's hamartia, watches with bated breath as the tragic events unfold, leading to the hero's eventual downfall. The intersection with fate. In many tragedies, there's an interplay between hamartia and fate. While the tragic hero makes an error, often the harshness of the consequences feels disproportionate, making one wonder about the inexorable nature of destiny. Does the hero fall because of their error, or are they merely playing out a preordained script? Modern interpretations and relevance. The concept of hamartia remains relevant in contemporary narratives. Today's characters, be it in literature, film, or television, often grapple with flaws or make decisions that set them on a path of destruction or redemption. The idea that one misstep, whether born from a character flaw or a poor decision, can lead to profound consequences is universally relatable and continues to be a foundational pillar of storytelling. Hamartia, as Aristotle articulated in his Poetics, goes beyond the simplistic notion of a tragic flaw. It delves deep into the human condition, exploring the consequences of our actions and decisions. In the tragic hero's fall, we are reminded of our own vulnerabilities and the thin line that separates happiness from despair. It's a testament to Aristotle's insights that thousands of years later, we still see ourselves in the tragic narratives, understanding and lamenting the profound impacts of our errors. 5. Anagnorisis, recognition. In Aristotle's monumental work on drama, Poetics, he meticulously unpacks the various elements that contribute to the effectiveness of a tragedy. Among these elements, the concept of anagnorisis or recognition stands out as a pivotal moment in the unfolding of a tragic narrative. Defining anagnorisis. Aristotle defines anagnorisis as the change from ignorance to knowledge, producing love or hate between the persons destined by the poet for good or bad fortune. It signifies a moment of clarity, a sudden understanding or realization for a character, typically the tragic hero, that brings about the play's climax and subsequent tragic denouement. The mechanics of recognition. In a tragedy, anagnorisis often occurs when a character suddenly understands their true nature, realizes another character's identity, or discovers the true nature of their situation. This recognition usually catalyzes the final actions of the tragedy. The power of this realization is such that it can transform the trajectory of the plot, making it an essential tool in the playwright's arsenal. Forms of anagnorisis. Anagnorisis can manifest in various forms. 1. Self-recognition. The tragic hero realizes something crucial about their own character, actions, or past. The understanding of Oedipus about his true parentage in Oedipus Rex is a prime example. 2. External recognition. The tragic hero recognizes another character in a new light. This could be a realization about a family member, friend, or foe, which then changes the dynamics of their relationship. 3. Situational recognition. The tragic hero becomes aware of their true situation, which is often a dire one, setting the stage for the tragedy's climax. Interplay with peripeteia, reversal. Anagnorisis often works in tandem with another Aristotelian concept, peripeteia, or reversal. While anagnorisis pertains to the hero's internal realization, peripeteia refers to a reversal of circumstances or turning point in the plot. When used effectively, the moment of recognition can be immediately followed by a dramatic turn of events, heightening the emotional intensity of the narrative. The emotional power of anagnorisis. The moment of recognition serves multiple purposes. 1. Engagement. It keeps the audience engaged as they watch characters come to profound realizations, which often coincide with their own understanding of the narrative. 2. Catharsis. Anagnorisis contributes to the cathartic effect of the tragedy. As characters realize their mistakes or true nature of their situations, audiences experience a purging of emotions, feeling pity for the tragic hero and fearing a similar fate for themselves. 3. Character depth. This moment of clarity often adds depth to characters, making them more relatable and human. It showcases their capacity for self-awareness, growth, and change, even if it's tragically too late. Contemporary relevance. While Aristotle's Poetics is rooted in ancient Greek drama, the concept of anagnorisis retains its relevance in modern narratives. Whether in literature, cinema, or television, characters undergo moments of realization that change their course. The potency of this moment, the shock and clarity it provides, remains a universal narrative device that resonates across ages. Aristotle, in his insightful analysis, recognized the profound emotional and narrative weight of anagnorisis. It's not just a plot device, but a reflection of human nature. We all, at various points in our lives, come to realizations that redefine our understanding of ourselves and our surroundings. This universality is what gives anagnorisis its timeless appeal. While tragedies often employ it to mark the hero's downfall, moments of recognition can also be transformative in a positive way, leading to growth and redemption. Thus, beyond its tragic connotations, anagnorisis serves as a poignant reminder of the human capacity for understanding, self-awareness, and change. As audiences, we are not just passive witnesses to these moments of recognition but active participants, as we mirror the characters' realizations with our own epiphanies about the narrative and, often, about life itself. 6. Peripeteia, reversal. Aristotle's Poetics offers a systematic examination of the art of tragic drama, providing insights into its various components that together shape a compelling narrative. Among the array of elements Aristotle discusses, peripeteia, often translated as reversal, holds a significant position. Understanding peripeteia. Derived from the Greek word meaning sudden change, peripeteia is a pivotal moment in a tragedy where the plot twists in an unexpected direction. It's the turning point where the fortune of the protagonist dramatically shifts, typically from good to bad. For Aristotle, this reversal is an indispensable part of an effective tragedy, serving to captivate the audience and heighten the tragic emotion. Mechanics of the reversal. Peripeteia isn't just any change, it's a reversal of circumstances often derived from the internal structure of the plot. This means that the twist should emerge organically from the narrative and not be imposed externally or artificially. For the reversal to be impactful, it should stem from the character's decisions, actions, or the unfolding of events that the audience has been made privy to. Interplay with anagnorisis, recognition. Aristotle often links peripeteia with anagnorisis or recognition. While peripeteia concerns the sudden shift in a character's fortune, anagnorisis pertains to a character's realization or discovery. These two elements often coincide to deliver a double punch in the narrative. A character might realize something crucial, anagnorisis, and almost immediately face the dramatic repercussions of that realization, peripeteia. Examples from classic tragedies. Perhaps the most iconic example of peripeteia is in Sophocles' Oedipus Rex. Oedipus, in his quest to find the murderer of the former king Laius, discovers that he himself is the culprit. This recognition, anagnorisis, leads to a drastic reversal of his fortune, peripeteia, from a respected king to a blind exile. The emotional weight of peripeteia. The sudden shift or reversal serves multiple purposes. 1. Surprise and engagement. The unexpected turn of events keeps the audience on their toes, adding to the dramatic tension and maintaining engagement. 2. Deepening the tragedy. The reversal accentuates the tragic dimension of the narrative. When characters, especially the tragic hero, face sudden misfortunes, it amplifies the feelings of pity and fear in the audience. 3. Catharsis. Combined with other elements like anagnorisis, the peripeteia contributes to the cathartic experience that a tragedy aims to provide. As the protagonist's fortunes plummet, the audience undergoes an emotional purging, confronting their deepest fears and empathies. Relevance in contemporary narratives. While Aristotle wrote about tragedies of his time, the concept of peripeteia remains central to modern storytelling. In movies, books, or television series, a dramatic turn of events that flips the narrative is a tried and tested mechanism to engage viewers or readers. Aristotle, with his keen observations, understood the intrinsic human fascination with the unexpected. By defining and emphasizing the role of peripeteia, he highlighted the inherent drama and emotional rollercoaster that sudden reversals introduce into narratives. It serves as a mirror to life itself, where fortunes can change swiftly and unpredictably. As much as it's a literary device, peripeteia is also a reflection on the unpredictability of human existence, making it as relevant today as it was in Aristotle's time. 7. Unity of time, place, and action. Aristotle's Poetics remains a foundational work for understanding the principles of drama, particularly tragedy. Among his many contributions to the art, Aristotle discussed the three unities: unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. These principles, while not explicitly outlined as three unities in his work, have been extracted and expanded upon by later scholars and practitioners of drama. 1. Unity of time. The unity of time suggests that the time frame of the drama should be limited, typically to a single day. Aristotle believed that a story spanning over a short duration allows the audience to witness the development and resolution of the plot within a single theatrical experience. This limitation enhances the believability of the events and ensures that the audience can follow the narrative's progression without the complexity of extensive time jumps. 2. Unity of place. Unity of place posits that the action of the drama should occur in a single location. By confining the events to one setting, the drama remains focused and the narrative gains intensity. This unity ensures that the audience isn't distracted by shifting sceneries or locales, allowing them to immerse themselves fully in the unfolding drama. This spatial constraint, while limiting in some respects, challenges playwrights to extract depth from a singular location. 3. Unity of action. Perhaps the most crucial of the three, the unity of action dictates that the drama should have one principal action or plot, with all subsidiary actions being directly connected to it. This doesn't mean subplots are forbidden, but they should be intrinsically linked to the main plot. The idea is to maintain a coherent and linear progression of events. This unity ensures clarity and prevents the narrative from becoming muddled with extraneous or divergent storylines. Significance and implications. These unities, while prescriptive, aim at achieving a cohesive, intense, and immersive dramatic experience. The constraints they impose can be viewed as a means to heighten emotional impact. By concentrating the action, time, and place, the drama becomes more intense and immediate, eliciting stronger emotional reactions from the audience. Enhance verisimilitude. The unities contribute to the semblance of reality. Events happening in a single day, in one location, following a coherent narrative, are more relatable and believable. Encourage creative rigor. Adhering to these unities can be challenging, pushing playwrights to be innovative within the confines. Beyond classical drama. While the three unities were adhered to rigorously in classical drama, particularly in the French neoclassical period, modern drama often challenges or even dismisses these principles. Contemporary playwrights and filmmakers sometimes use disjointed timelines, multiple settings, and parallel narratives to achieve desired effects. However, the underlying logic of the unities remains relevant. A focused narrative, no matter how it's presented, is often more impactful. Even when playwrights choose to break away from these unities, they often do so with an acute awareness of the principles they are challenging. Aristotle's principles of unity of time, place, and action have deeply influenced the course of Western drama. These unities emphasize the importance of coherence, concentration, and relatability in storytelling. Even as dramatic norms evolve, the essence of these unities, a tight, focused, and compelling narrative, remains at the heart of impactful storytelling. 8. Plot, mythos, the heartbeat of tragedy. Aristotle's Poetics is a seminal work that outlines the core principles and components of tragedy, of which the plot, or mythos in Greek, stands paramount. According to Aristotle, the plot is the very soul of tragedy, overshadowing even character and theme. Let's delve into the significance, structure, and components of mythos as presented by Aristotle. 1. Primacy of plot. For Aristotle, the plot is the organized sequence of events in a story, driven by a causal relationship. It's the backbone that gives structure to the narrative. While characters, themes, diction, and spectacle are vital, Aristotle firmly believed that without a compelling plot, the essence of tragedy would be lost. The events, and the order in which they are presented, directly influence the emotional reactions of the audience. 2. Causality and structure. Aristotle emphasizes the causal relationship between events in the plot. One event leads to another in a logically consistent sequence. This structure ensures that the narrative unfolds smoothly, maintaining the audience's engagement and understanding. Typically, a tragic plot involves a beginning, where no preceding events are necessary, a middle, the core conflict and its development, and an end, resolution. 3. Complex versus simple plots. Aristotle differentiates between simple and complex plots. Simple plots, these have a change of fortune, from good to bad or vice versa, but lack peripeteia, reversal, and anagnorisis, recognition. Complex plots, these involve both peripeteia and anagnorisis. They're more engaging because they include unexpected turns and revelations, intensifying emotional responses. 4. Unity and wholeness. The plot must have unity, meaning that every event or action should be a necessary or probable outcome of the previous event, contributing to the overall narrative. Random or superfluous events disrupt the narrative's flow. The concept of unity is closely related to Aristotle's other principles, such as the unity of time, place, and action, which further emphasize cohesiveness in storytelling. 5. Catharsis, the ultimate aim. The plot plays a pivotal role in achieving catharsis, which is the purging of emotions, particularly pity and fear, in the audience. The sequence and nature of events, especially in a tragic plot, are designed to evoke specific emotional responses, culminating in a cathartic experience. 6. Magnitude. Aristotle also touches upon the magnitude of the plot. It should be long enough to allow the hero's change in fortune, executed in a manner that can be easily remembered by the audience. This ensures that the narrative remains comprehensive without overwhelming the viewer. Mythos or plot, as articulated by Aristotle, is a testament to the importance of structured storytelling in evoking deep emotional responses. His emphasis on causality, unity, and the balance between complexity and comprehensibility underscores the intricate art of crafting compelling narratives. Even in contemporary times, when many forms of storytelling break classical molds, the essence of a well-structured plot remains crucial. The universality of Aristotle's observations on plot reveals the timeless nature of his insights and the foundational role of plot in narrative forms across ages. 9. Character, ethos, the framework of human essence. Aristotle's Poetics is not just a guide to understanding the nature of tragedy, but also an exploration into the very essence of human behavior and character. Within this foundational work, character, or ethos as Aristotle termed it, emerges as a vital component of storytelling, second only to plot, mythos. Let's probe the nuances of character as articulated by Aristotle. 1. The role of character in tragedy. Character serves as the moral factor in the play, revealing the ethical intentions of individuals. It's through characters that moral qualities are introduced to the actions, thus determining the outcomes based on these virtues or vices. While plot determines the play's structure, character shapes its ethical dimension. 2. Qualities of a good character. Aristotle enumerates specific characteristics that define a good character in a tragedy. True to life, the character should be realistic and relatable. It's essential for the audience to believe in the character's motivations and decisions. Consistency. Even if the character's behavior is not always good, it should be consistent. A deviation should be justified either by a change that happens according to the rules of probability or necessity. Moral purpose. Every character should have clear moral objectives, whether virtuous or vicious. This moral purpose should be evident in the decisions they make throughout the plot. 3. The ideal tragic hero. Aristotle's portrayal of the ideal tragic hero remains one of his most influential contributions. This hero shouldn't be wholly virtuous nor entirely wicked, but should reside somewhere in between. Their downfall, usually the centerpiece of the tragedy, should not stem from deliberate wickedness, but rather from hamartia, a tragic flaw or error in judgment. Such a character evokes pity and fear in the audience, leading to the cathartic release that's central to Aristotle's idea of tragedy. 4. Secondary characters and their relevance. While the protagonist holds center stage in Aristotle's discourse, secondary characters aren't mere fillers. They play crucial roles in advancing the plot and in delineating the main character's moral universe. They reflect, contrast, and often catalyze the protagonist's hamartia. 5. Character development and arc. While plot remains primary for Aristotle, he acknowledges the role of character development in enriching the narrative. The journey a character undergoes, especially the tragic hero, adds depth to the narrative and enhances the emotional engagement of the audience. 6. Ethos and diction, lexis. For Aristotle, character and diction are closely intertwined. Diction refers to the expression of thought via dialogue. It's through dialogue that the character's ethos, or moral disposition, is revealed. How a character speaks, what they choose to say or avoid, their tone, and their interaction with others, all paint a vivid picture of their ethical and moral stance. In the realm of Aristotle's Poetics, ethos, or character, is a vessel that carries the ethical and moral undertones of the tragedy. The meticulous crafting of characters, especially the tragic hero, reflects deep insights into human nature, morality, and the complexities of human decision-making. Aristotle's examination of character is not just a study for playwrights, but offers profound observations on the human condition, echoing across time and still resonating in contemporary narratives. 10. Diction, lexis. In Aristotle's Poetics, diction, referred to as lexis, holds a significant place in the crafting of a tragedy. Lexis pertains to the choice of words and expressions used in the dialogue, essentially the way of saying things. For Aristotle, diction is a tool to portray both the plot, mythos, and the character, ethos. The nature, quality, and arrangement of words can reveal the moral disposition and inner turmoil of characters, making the narrative more engaging and evocative. The right choice of words can elevate the emotional tone, infusing the plot with depth and authenticity. It's through diction that the abstract becomes tangible, and the character's motivations and emotions become discernible. In essence, lexis is the bridge between the playwright's intent and the audience's perception, channeling the narrative's core essence through the power of language. Aristotle's emphasis on diction underscores the timeless idea that in drama, as in life, it's not just what you say, but how you say it, that matters. 11. Song, melos. In Aristotle's Poetics, melos, or song, plays an integral role in the aesthetic and emotional fabric of the tragic play. Melos doesn't merely mean the lyrics, but encompasses the rhythm and melody, offering a musical dimension to the drama. It enhances the overall atmosphere, amplifying the emotional resonances of the plot and the sentiments of characters. For Aristotle, the integration of song serves to heighten the tragic effect, acting as an emotive catalyst, drawing the audience deeper into the unfolding drama. In tragedies, the chorus often employs melos, using it as a tool for commentary, reflection, or foreshadowing. The song isn't merely an ornamental feature but an essential component, intertwined with the narrative, influencing the audience's reception and understanding of the tragedy's thematic depths. In essence, melos is a testament to the power of music in articulating and amplifying the complexities of human emotions and the intricacies of the tragic narrative. Through melos, Aristotle emphasizes the harmonious union of words and music in shaping the soul-stirring essence of a tragic play. 12. Thought, dianoia. In Aristotle's Poetics, dianoia, often translated as thought, pertains to the intellectual component of a tragedy. It refers to the arguments, the general reasoning, and the logical progression that characters in a drama use to convey their ideas, convictions, and beliefs. Dianoia encompasses the articulated statements, maxims, and reflective comments that shed light on a character's motivations, decisions, and worldviews. It's the means through which characters express their philosophy, their wisdom, or even their misunderstandings about the world around them. In the hierarchy of elements that constitute a tragedy, Aristotle places dianoia below the plot, mythos, and character, ethos, but acknowledges its significance in enhancing the depth and richness of the narrative. A well-articulated dianoia not only makes the characters' motivations and actions more understandable to the audience, but also gives depth to the philosophical underpinnings of the play. It's the vehicle through which deeper insights, moral lessons, or universal truths can be communicated. For Aristotle, the success of a tragedy isn't just in evoking emotions, but also in stimulating intellectual engagement. By presenting thought-provoking arguments and reflections through dianoia, a play challenges its audience, asking them to grapple with profound questions, ethical dilemmas, and the complexities of human nature and destiny. In essence, dianoia enriches a tragedy, ensuring that it doesn't merely cater to the senses but also to the intellect, making the experience holistic, engaging both the heart and the mind. Through dianoia, tragedies become more than mere spectacles, they evolve into platforms for reflection, debate, and deeper understanding of the human condition. 13. Necessary and probable cause. In Aristotle's Poetics, the concepts of necessary and probable cause form the backbone of a well-constructed plot. They refer to the logical and believable sequence of events in a narrative or drama. Aristotle believed that for a story to be effective, its events shouldn't merely happen randomly or due to coincidence, but they should follow a structure where each event is a necessary or probable consequence of the preceding one. 1. Necessary cause. This implies that the events in a plot must follow a logical progression where one event causes the next. It's essential for the sequence to feel inevitable, as if no other event could have possibly followed. When events occur due to necessary cause, the audience perceives the story as coherent and logically sound. 2. Probable cause. While necessary cause requires a strict logical sequence, probable cause allows for events that are likely but not inevitable. These are events that, given the circumstances and character motivations, are the most likely to occur. They don't have the strict causality of necessary events, but they still feel believable and natural within the context of the story. For Aristotle, the combination of necessary and probable cause ensures that a tragedy feels both surprising and inevitable. The events should be unexpected to keep the audience engaged, but once they occur, they should feel like they were the only possible outcome, making the narrative satisfying. A plot built on these principles is more effective in evoking catharsis, the emotional release and purification that Aristotle deemed the primary goal of tragedy. When events unfold based on necessary and probable cause, audiences are more likely to be emotionally invested and, consequently, more profoundly moved by the story's conclusion. In contemporary storytelling, Aristotle's principles remain relevant. Well-constructed plots in movies, novels, and plays still rely on necessary and probable cause to ensure that narratives are both engaging and believable. The avoidance of random or illogical events helps maintain the audience's suspension of disbelief and ensures that the story has a lasting emotional and intellectual impact. 14. Beginning, middle, and end. Aristotle's Poetics offers profound insights into the art of storytelling, and among its foundational principles is the tripartite structure of a plot, the beginning, middle, and end. This seemingly simple division is deeply rooted in Aristotle's understanding of what makes a story complete and satisfying to its audience. 1. Beginning. Protasis. According to Aristotle, the beginning, or the protasis, is where the plot starts without any prerequisite. It sets the stage, introduces the characters, their motivations, and the initial situation or conflict that propels the narrative. The beginning does not arise from any prior events within the story but can be a cause for subsequent events. Essentially, it's the point from which the story's chain of cause and effect gets initiated. 2. Middle. Epitasis. The middle, epitasis in Greek, is the heart of the narrative. Here, the plot thickens, conflicts intensify, characters develop, and the primary actions that drive the story forward occur. It's a direct result of the events set in motion during the beginning and contains the core dramatic events and complications leading towards the climax of the story. The middle is where the primary tensions, challenges, and obstacles lie, and it is driven by both necessary and probable causes stemming from the beginning. 3. End. Catastasis. The end, or catastasis, is where the plot's complexities resolve and the story concludes. For Aristotle, a proper ending must feel both inevitable, given the preceding events, and surprising to be effective. It is the culmination and resolution of the tensions and conflicts introduced and developed in the beginning and middle. The end brings closure, and for tragedies, this often means a devastating or sorrowful conclusion, ensuring the cathartic effect on the audience. Aristotle emphasized the importance of maintaining this structure to ensure that a plot feels whole. Straying from this can lead to an incomplete or disjointed narrative. The balance and logical progression from the beginning through the middle to the end ensure that the story maintains its coherence and the audience remains engaged. In essence, the tripartite structure reinforces Aristotle's beliefs in causality and logical progression in storytelling. Each segment has a distinct role and, when executed well, they form a cohesive, compelling narrative. This structure remains foundational in modern storytelling, from three-act plays to the framework of contemporary movies and novels. The universality of the beginning, middle, and end underscores its intrinsic value in crafting impactful stories that resonate with audiences across time and cultures. 15. Magnitude. In Aristotle's Poetics, magnitude, or megathos in Greek, refers to the length or size of the tragic action, which should be of a certain scope to have the desired emotional impact on the audience. Aristotle believed that the structure of a tragedy, much like any other form of art, should be cohesive and proportionate. This idea of proportionality or a proper size was vital to Aristotle's concept of an ideal tragedy. 1. Proper length. Aristotle emphasized that a tragedy must be long enough for its hero to go from happiness to misery, but not so long that the story becomes too complicated or difficult for the audience to follow. The plot should be of a length that can be easily held in memory. 2. Unity and completeness. The idea of magnitude is closely linked with the principles of unity and completeness. A tragedy of the correct magnitude will allow for the comprehensive and logical development of its plot from beginning to end. Too short, and the narrative might feel rushed or underdeveloped. Too long, and it may become convoluted, losing its emotional punch. 3. Emotional impact. The proper magnitude ensures that the tragedy effectively elicits the emotions of pity and fear, leading to the cathartic experience for the audience. An appropriately structured narrative allows these emotions to build gradually, peak at the right moments, and then resolve, giving the audience the full range and depth of the intended emotional experience. 4. Limitation and boundaries. Aristotle believed in setting boundaries for art forms. For tragedies, these boundaries relate to the time it takes to experience a shift in fortune. Magnitude ensures that this shift is experienced within the confines of the tragedy's structure, making the narrative believable and relatable. 5. Modern relevance. Aristotle's concept of magnitude remains relevant even in today's storytelling formats, whether in movies, novels, or television series. A well-paced story, neither too brief nor too drawn out, ensures that the audience remains engaged and the narrative remains impactful. In conclusion, Aristotle's emphasis on magnitude in Poetics underscores the significance of balance, proportion, and pacing in storytelling. A tragedy should be of a certain size and scope to ensure it captivates the audience, maintaining unity and delivering a potent emotional experience. This idea of a proportionate and complete structure is a timeless principle, guiding storytellers across ages and cultures. 16. Universality. In Aristotle's Poetics, the concept of universality plays a pivotal role in distinguishing the nature and value of poetry, and by extension, drama, from that of history. While historians, according to Aristotle, relate specific events tied to particular individuals, poets depict what might happen, focusing on probable and universally applicable events and situations. This emphasis on universality gives poetry its philosophical edge and depth, making it more significant in some respects than history. 1. General versus specific. Aristotle contended that while history describes specific events that happen to specific people, poetry delves into events that might happen to anyone. This generality elevates poetry to a universal plane, enabling it to transcend time and space. 2. Emotional truth. The universality of poetry is not about factual accuracy but emotional truth. Poetry captures the universal human emotions, desires, conflicts, and dilemmas that are relatable across different cultures and epochs. 3. Enduring relevance. Thanks to its universal nature, great poetry remains relevant. The themes tackled by ancient tragedies or epics, like love, honor, sacrifice, and ambition, resonate with audiences today because they tap into universal human experiences. 4. Moral and philosophical insights. Universality also extends to the moral and philosophical domain. By depicting universal situations, poetry offers insights into human nature, ethics, and the human condition. For Aristotle, this was one of the highest virtues of poetry. 5. Creation of archetypes. Due to its emphasis on universality, poetry often gives rise to archetypal characters and situations. These archetypes, like the tragic hero or the theme of hubris, embody universal patterns that can be identified in various narratives across different cultures. 6. A tool for education. Aristotle believed in the educational value of poetry, especially tragedy. Its universality makes it a potent tool for teaching audiences about virtue, vice, and the consequences of human actions. In conclusion, the concept of universality in Aristotle's Poetics underscores the profound and enduring value of poetry. By focusing on what is universal, poetry provides insights into the shared human experience, transcending the limitations of specific historical or factual accounts. This universal perspective ensures that the themes, characters, and lessons of great poetic works remain relevant and influential for generations, reinforcing the idea that art, at its best, speaks to the shared truths of human existence. 17. Moral purpose. In Aristotle's Poetics, the notion of moral purpose is intrinsically linked to the core concepts of tragedy and the role of art in society. At the heart of this exploration lies the question, what is the function of tragedy or, more broadly, poetry? According to Aristotle, art isn't merely an imitation of life, but serves a higher purpose, specifically a moral and educational one. 1. Catharsis. One of the most famous concepts introduced by Aristotle is the idea of catharsis, the purging or purification of emotions, particularly pity and fear. By experiencing these emotions vicariously through the characters and plot of a tragedy, the audience undergoes a cleansing process. This catharsis, beyond being a psychological relief, has a moral dimension. It fosters a deeper understanding and contemplation of human nature, actions, and consequences. 2. Exemplary function. Characters in a tragedy, especially the protagonist, often exhibit certain virtues and flaws. Through their rise and fall, the audience witnesses the ramifications of particular choices and actions. These portrayals serve an exemplary function, guiding the audience towards moral reflection and potential real-life application. 3. Universality. As Aristotle emphasizes the universality of poetry, the moral lessons derived from it are not bound to a specific time or place. They resonate with broader human experiences and ethical concerns, making them relevant across generations. 4. Plot over character. Aristotle posits that the plot, or mythos, is more crucial than character, or ethos, in a tragedy. The events and the structure of the story carry significant moral weight, determining the nature and depth of the lessons imparted. 5. Moral ambiguity. Not all tragedies, according to Aristotle, offer clear-cut moral lessons. Some delve into the complexities and ambiguities of human choices, pushing the audience to grapple with ethical dilemmas. This, too, serves a moral purpose, as it encourages critical thinking and introspection. 6. Role of the poet. The poet, in Aristotle's view, has a significant responsibility. The manner in which events are portrayed, characters are developed, and resolutions are crafted all play into the moral undertones of the narrative. The poet, thus, becomes an educator, indirectly shaping the ethical compass of society. In conclusion, the concept of moral purpose in Aristotle's Poetics elevates the role of art, particularly tragedy, from mere entertainment to a tool for ethical reflection and education. By engaging with the emotions, intellect, and moral faculties of the audience, a well-crafted tragedy serves as a mirror to society, prompting introspection, debate, and, ideally, moral growth.